13 WMAZ Morning starts now.
It is a cold and quiet morning out there. Now, cold, that's going to be a theme as we go through the rest of this week. I'll have those details. And when we could see rain, that's coming up.
Bibb deputies now looking for a man after hearing he tried to rob a restaurant customer. How you can help in the investigation.
And Warner Robins voters will have to wait until the end of the month to know their next leader. Two candidates now headed to a runoff.
This week's top teacher truly has a servant's heart. Find out what her kids say they never want to leave her classroom.
That young man's looking sharp. Good morning to you. You're looking live over the city of Macon. The time is now 6:31 a.m. on this Wednesday, November the 3rd. Thank you so much for continuing to stay with us. I'm Wanya Reese.
And I'm Caitlin Heck. If you're a little bit sleepy this morning, if you stayed up to watch that Braves win, just know you step outside, get a little burst of energy there with that cold. Oh, worth it to stay up and watch those World Series champions, Courtney.
That's right. Yeah, 26 years in the making. I'd say that a lot of people were staying up to keep an eye on that. Could be a once-in-a-lifetime thing for a lot of people. 48 right now in the city of Macon. So here's that cold that'll hopefully give you a little pep in your step as you walk out the door. You're, of course, looking live on top of Atrium Health Navicent. Area-wide, upper 40s and low 50s. We're at 50 in Gordon, 48 in Warner Robins, 49 in Montezuma, 45 in Thomaston, and 46 in Eastman. Now, we do have a little bit of a breeze to work with. It's not blustery out there, but it's just enough to make some spots feel a little cooler. It's feeling more like 42 in Thomaston and 46 in Warner Robins. So especially for all of you students who have to stand outside and wait for the bus stop, be sure that you have the hat and also that sweater with you or jacket because it is going to be a cold morning. It's going to be a cold day. Temperatures only in the mid 60s today. Overcast conditions for a lot of us, and we're only going to get cooler over the next few days. And we're going to add some rain to the mix on top of that. I'm going to take you through all of it and talk about when we'll see a little bit of a warm up after these cool days. That's in a few minutes.
Well, thank you so much, Courtney. Before we get to election news, let's catch you up on 3 other headlines we're following for you this morning.
Right now, we are working to learn what happened in a deadly motorcycle crash out of Warner Robins. It was an accident with an SUV on Moody Road. Police Chief John Wagner confirmed the motorcyclist died, but we don't know who the victim is right now. We'll update you this story on air and online as we get more information.
The Bibb County Sheriff's Office is now looking for a man who tried to rob a customer at a popular North Macon seafood restaurant. They say it happened at the Jim Shaw's on Vineville Avenue just after 7 last night. Deputies got a report that a man with a gun demanded money from a customer walking back to their car. The customer screamed and ran towards a family member. The gunman got into his car and drove away. A witness told investigators the man wore a yellow hoodie and they believe he was driving a light-colored Toyota Camry. If you have any information, you can call the Macon Regional Crime Stoppers. You see the number on the bottom of your screen. That's 1-877-68-CRIME. Right now, Johnson County law enforcement, they want your help finding a missing man.
The oldest son of 60-year-old Don Hightower says he last saw his dad Saturday night in his gold 2003 Toyota Camry. He said his dad had not been feeling well recently with what he called brain fog. Family members tell us that leaving like this is completely out of character for Don. So far, his family's covered places in Macon, Milledgeville, Augusta, and Athens.
His car, now it has a Johnson County tag. You see it there. That number, it's AKE 9780. If you have any information on this case, you can call the Sheriff's Office. Their number, it's 478-864-3941. Going to say that for you one more time. That's 478-864-3941.
Well, November elections are now over for many places in central Georgia, but the top spot in Warner Robins still up for grabs.
That's right. For weeks, Stephen Boyer, LaRonda Patrick, and current Mayor Randy Toms told voters why they're the best fit to lead the international city. But the race now heads to a runoff after no one got at least 50% plus 1 vote. Patrick and Toms will face off against each other.
Kalisha Moore spoke to both candidates about what comes next as they get ready to continue their campaigns.
Election night proved the city was split between the 2 runoff contenders, LaRonda Patrick and Randy Toms.
I'm just asking all the people that want to keep moving forward, give me a chance to be your mayor for 4 more years, and you're going to see some great things happen in Warner Robins.
I have a chance. Many people wondered if I did, and the numbers prove that I do.
Toms and Patrick say the results mean the hard work isn't over.
No, I didn't come into this thing tonight thinking I was going to walk away with this at all. It's not how I operate. I always operate like I'm in last place and try to work harder than anybody else.
I have to work twice as hard, and I'm already exhausted. So I've got to recharge, refresh, and get back out there harder than I was before.
But for now, they express gratitude and continue to ask for your vote.
It's up to the voters, whether you're going to come out and support moving forward or you're not. that's pretty much up to the voters.
I'm so thankful and so grateful to have so many people who believed in me and believe that I do have what it takes and believe that I can do this.
In Warner Robins, Kalisha Moore, 13 WMAZ News.
That runoff came down to 93 votes, and it's set for November the 30th.
All right, now there is no date for early voting for that election. That wasn't the only race in Warner Robins. Voters also decided 3 city council races, and we now know none of the spots will change. So for Post 1, incumbent Derek Mack will remain in the seat. He won the race with 65% of the vote, or more than 4,500 votes. For Post 3, voters re-elected incumbent Keith Lauritsen to another 4-year term. He took 55% of the vote. And for Post 5, incumbent Clifford Holmes got 57% of the vote, keeping him on the council.
And the 4th time's the charm for a sales tax here in Macon, Bibb County. The new penny sales tax, known as the OLAWS, passed overwhelmingly. Over 8,600 of the nearly 11,000 votes cast were in favor of that tax.
It will tack on a penny on the dollar for taxable items starting January 1st of the new year. So instead of paying 7 cents on the dollar, you would pay 8 cents. Now, in turn, the county plans to roll back property taxes by up to 40% in 2023. Taking a closer look at election news from around the Peach State, the race for Atlanta's next top leader will now head to a runoff.
But we're still not sure who will face each other on November 30th. Here's where the numbers stand based on our Atlanta station's website. Right now, they show 100% of precincts reporting. Currently, City Council President Felicia Moore has 41% of the vote, leading the 14-candidate field.
Now, the Associated Press says she is advanced to the runoff, and it looks like Andre Dickens and former Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed are vying for that second spot. There's less than 600 votes separating them. Even though all precincts are reporting, it may be too close to call the second spot right now.
In other news from across the state, lawmakers are getting ready for a once-in-a-decade redistricting process. They've already been busy drawing new lines and trying to figure out what congressional and legislative districts will now look like in Georgia. But today, they'll meet in a special session to tackle the process even more. According to Governor Brian Kemp's proclamation back in September, the legislature will meet for enacting, revising, repealing, or amending general law to draw up the districts. Every 10 years after each U.S. Census, legislators start to look at every state and federal election district to try and make those districts roughly the same size.
A final jury selection will start today in the trial for 3 men accused in the Ahmaud Arbery case. Our station out of Jacksonville, Florida, says attorneys exceeded the goal yesterday of potential jurors qualified, reaching 65. They needed just 64 to begin final selection. That will narrow the field down to 12 jurors and 4 alternates. The judge says he expects selection to wrap up today, with opening statements expected to start tomorrow. Father and son Greg and Travis McMichael, along with William Roddy Bryan, face murder charges in connection to Arbery's 2020 shooting death. They have pleaded not guilty. Court picks back up at 9 this morning. The time is now 6:38. It is a great day to be a Georgia sports fan, and I can only imagine what Truist was like last night.
Oh my gosh, it had to have been shaking. I mean, I imagine all the people in the buildings surrounding it were probably having a lot of lack of sleep last night thanks to all the energy that was there.
You can believe that the folks in Atlanta, as the young kids say, they're going to be turning up this
yes,
weekend.
Oh my God.
Everybody, young and old.
Oh, you already know it. I mean, it's been 26 years since they've won a World Series, so that's a good amount of time. That's as long as you and I have been alive,
yes,
Wanye.
I'm like, wow.
It's been great. So I know lots of people, you're going to have your Braves gear on today. It's going to be a wonderful day to celebrate the Braves. Now, any day is a wonderful day to celebrate a World Series win. Now, you're going to need that kind of energy to carry you through because the weather's not going to do it for you. It's going to be a little bit dreary. So, of course, you're looking live at Truist Park, the calm after the storm, everyone. It really was a wonderful evening of baseball in Houston, and of course there were a lot of people watching it in the park yesterday. 48 Macon, 48 Warner Robins. We'll shift gears and talk about what you can expect to head out the door. Hopefully this cooler air will help a little bit for all of you who stayed up a little bit too late watching that game last night. This will put a little bit of pep in your step. 47 in Forsyth, 48 in Warner Robins. We're at 50 in Gordon, 52 in Dublin, and 49 in Eastman, 45 in Thomaston. We look ahead to a very cold day today. I hope you enjoyed the 70s yesterday. In fact, even the mid 70s, because that is going to change today. And that'll be thanks to high pressure that is now to our north. What is this going to do? It's going to create a wedge, and we talk about that a lot. What happens is all the air that's rotating around this area of high pressure is going to run up against the Appalachian Mountains, very cold air at that. If you can kind of see it behind this area of high pressure here I have on the map, there's some snow and sleet. That's how cold the air is up there. Again, that'll run up against the Appalachians and spill into central Georgia. So that's what's going to control our forecast at the surface for the day today. And what that'll do is leave us with quite the temperature spread. If you are north of Macon, expect temperatures in the low 60s. You are going to be colder as you'll reap the benefits of that cooler air. And for some of you, it might not be a benefit if you don't like the cold temperatures. Now, if you're south of Macon, expect mid to upper 60s. Otherwise, we're going to have mostly cloudy to even overcast conditions. That's also another side effect of a wedge when it builds in. We'll keep the cloud cover through the overnight. Low temperatures will drop into the mid to upper 40s and near 50, so it'll be another cold start. Keeping the cloud cover around tomorrow and even a rain chance as that wedge still dominates the forecast a bit. We're going to have temperatures in the low to mid 50s if you're north of Macon, and then you'll be closer to 60 if you're Macon southward. Now, we are also going to have that small rain chance tomorrow. It's going to be thanks to something we call a short wave. It's a quick burst of energy, adds a little extra lift as it passes on by, so that will offer us a very light rain chance come tomorrow morning, mainly if you're north of Macon. So expect a chilly rain to head out the door for some of us tomorrow. Now, as we head into Friday, we're watching this low that's riding along a front that's to our south. That's going to move across the peninsula of Florida back out over the Atlantic Ocean, and as it does so, it's going to offer us a rain chance starting Friday night into Saturday morning. So some light rain will be possible for those Friday night football games. It's going to be cold and dreary and maybe a little bit drizzly. Now, that low is going to push away from the coast as we head into Saturday night and Sunday. So by Sunday, skies will clear and temperatures will naturally start to warm again after some very, very cold days. Your 7-day shows mid 60s today, again cooler if you're north of Macon. Light rain chance for tomorrow through Saturday with temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s. We'll wake up near 40 Sunday morning. We're back in the mid 70s by next Monday.
Thank you, Courtney. Time is 6:42. Before we go to break, let's take a look at how several other mayor's races shaped up in central Georgia. Still ahead after the break, we'll catch you up on the one out of the International City. Stay with us.